Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Indecom interviews policewoman in relation to Donald Lee Donaldson case, session to be kept confidential until deemed prudent for public dissemination. The Independent Commission of Investigation Indecom has pointed out that while it's aware of the public interest in the case of missing influencer Donald Lee Donaldson, its interview session with the policewoman will be kept confidential until deemed prudent for public dissemination. This, as the information gleaned from the interview is crucial to the overall investigative process, and release of information from the interview could jeopardize the case. The woman district constable was interviewed by Indecom on August 3rd. She is being deemed a witness at this point. The police have already indicated that the policewoman is not a suspect, as there is no evidence linking her to the case. The father of her child, who is also a police officer and the companion of Donaldson, has been charged with murder. Noel Maitland was also set to be interviewed by Indecom yesterday. However, following the murder charge, the commission said it will not proceed with the question and answer session for him. Meanwhile, the attorney representing the woman district constable has indicated that his client was cooperative during the interview session with the Independent Commission of Investigations Indecom. While refraining from giving details on the session, Oswest's senior estimate said his client gave responses to questions aimed at getting information.
The interview process, even though quite long, one of the longest I've ever done, went relatively smoothly. The questions were wide-ranging, and from my appreciation of what was taking place, it appeared as if the questions were geared towards eliciting answers to fill certain blanks as far as whatever the Indecom functionaries were working with. My client assisted as much as she could have, and she was open and receptive to the questions.
Relatives of Donald Lee Donaldson staged another protest calling for her body to be provided. Despite the murder charge laid against a policeman in the case of missing social media influencer Donald Lee Donaldson, some of her relatives say they are still not satisfied as how the investigation is progressing. Miss Donaldson's boyfriend, Police Constable Noel Maitland, was charged with murder. Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey noted that Miss Donaldson's body has not been recovered, but the police believe that she is dead based on their investigations and scientific evidence. Several protesters gathered on August 3rd outside the Halfway Tree police station in St. Andrew, asking for answers regarding the body. One of her relatives said the family is still in grief despite the news of the charge. She said the family needs closure.
So I'm a relative, and we are still feeling down with all that is happening, coming out in the news that she got charged for the murder. At first, it was a missing person, and up until yesterday, we are saying that it's now a murder. What investigation is being done? How fast are you moving to give us answer as the family? Is it that you guys have a body where we can get closure? If you do, why not come to us and say we have a body and we're just investigating and this is why it is not being released? There are questions that we have and we need answers because we are the one hurting. Throughout it all, we have family members who haven't shed a tear, and when that came out that it's now a murder investigation, persons break down, drop, get weak. So each time the information is coming to us piece by piece, persons are being broken piece by piece. So that's why we're out still protesting, because it don't sit right with you. We don't have our body, we don't know where she is.
Meanwhile, Donald Lee's uncle, Neil Log, expressed dissatisfaction that Indecom did not carry out the questioning of Constable Maitland as planned. Indecom said it would not proceed to interview Mr. Maitland in the light of the murder charge. However, Mr. Long said the interview should have still been conducted. He also expressed sadness, saying the family does not have concrete proof of Mr. Donaldson's death.
The news that we get yesterday, people may think it's a comfort. That's not a news of comfort. That's a news of distress and pain, sorrow and grief, disappointment. The police, they refuse from move swiftly and whatever intel them get, whatever lead them get. Them take too long for question Noel. Them take too long for see him as a person of interest or a suspect, even when I was crying out for that, knowing that he was the person that bring her from her house and they ignore all of that. Indicom is an independent body that investigates corrupt police and corrupt police matters. So my question is why the JCF chose to charge Noel yesterday and not wait till tomorrow after Indicom questioning. I think if Indicom would question him, and I believe if the police would move more swift, something different would have come out. So today's protest is to show Jamaican and the world, the JCF, that we are not giving up, we need closure.
Transport Group renews call for Finance Minister to rectify issues relating to PPV gas grant. The Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services Stance is again calling on the Finance Minister to rectify challenges being faced by transport operators who apply for the gas grant. Early last month, the ministry has said that operators of public passenger vehicles who are qualified would start receiving $25,000 gas grant promised by the government in the following 2 weeks. However, many operators say they are yet to benefit. President of TODS, Mr. Newman, told reporters that some operators have not received the grant due to disbursement issues.
The last time we spoke on this matter, last week, Thursday, a few presidents have called me to advise that the company through which the funds should be paid out is calling them, asking them to send a list of names of persons to receive grant to them. That sounds strange to us as a sector because we believe that the Transport Authority has provided all information necessary to the Ministry of Finance. Who is the agency who's going to pay out should receive all the information from the Ministry of Finance. What sort of a runaround we are getting as a sector? TODS will be giving the Ministry of Finance until this weekend, this week Friday, and there's no payout, then we will know what to do come next week because we believe we are getting a runaround. We have chosen an agency from day one. Ourselves and the Transport Authority sat down together, work out how this money can be disbursed to the persons, not in cash, but in fuel. Send the information to your phone. You take it to the gas station, they swipe it and you get your fuel. No, this is a runaround just like last year. We were told only 3,000 apply. No, over 20,000 persons tried to apply and can't get through. As I speak now, members of my team, my executive, trying to apply and can't get through. Something is not right. But I urge the Ministry of Finance to do what is right and tell us exactly what is going on.
GOJ taking steps to rectify effects of Windalco chemical spill in Recovery, Environment Minister says. The Windalco Bauxite Alumina Company in Newarton, St. Catherine has come under fire following the latest pollution of the recovery on the weekend. The impact of the chemical spill from the plant on Saturday has been described as significant by Minister Samudo was a massive fish kill. The water has also been contaminated, with the pH level rising above the satisfactory standard. The minister says the state has been making intervention to treat with the impact. He says they have had to be trucking water to thousands of residents that would normally rely on the source from the river.
First one, I'm certain I can speak to the issue of water. We've had to be doing trucking to offset those who are most affected by the impact to the supply. I suspect that the rural water and the municipality will also probably have to do some trucking to those people who live along the river who may not be NWC customers over the coming weeks, as the water pH levels are still not where they need to be for human consumption. The NRCA through NEPA is able to draw down on that bond commensurate with the value of the bond. So in the case of the bauxite factory, the government would have assessed that you needed to hold a bond of a particular level, certainly over $100 million. So that if there is impact to the surrounding areas or to the immediate environment, we're able to draw down on that bond to do the remedial work that we need to do and to intervene in the space. So obviously, coming off of Sunday, based on what we would have observed and though the process is underway, there's no doubt in my mind that there will be significant drawdown of same. The fines under the NRCA Act are paltry. Now, the government has said, and I think the Prime Minister even said in his tour of St. Elizabeth on Friday, that we'll be moving in the next legislative cycle, being after the summer break, to amend the fines under the NRCA Act. You are speaking in the context of illegal sand mining, but it applies here. We'll be amending those fines in the next cycle, certainly before the end of the calendar year. So bring them in line with where they should be for 2022. First point I think that the public needs to understand, because I get the questions everywhere and I don't think they genuinely do, is that A, there's no deep sea mining taking place in Jamaica, or Jamaica's waters rather. That's one. Two, there's no application for any mining, deep sea mining to take place in Jamaica waters. Three, there's no license given to anyone, as there's no application for deep sea mining. So the first thing that the public needs to understand is that this is not a conversation about activities within our waters. The government of Jamaica has said, well, if it's exploration to determine if it can happen, we're open to exploration. It doesn't mean that they will automatically be mining. It means that you go and do an assessment to say, A, if there is sediment deposits that are valuable in the spaces that you're looking at, and B, you assess what the environmental impact would or wouldn't be. I'm not opposed to exploration and understanding.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.